So for today's demonstration, in the interest of time, we're just going to show a document review for A1 Electric Company. They are on the Northwest Food House project. It is Procore integrated because we can see with the Procore chain, and we're also able to navigate to that specific vendor. It's important to note that on Procore specific projects, we have different types of imports. Some companies will want to import vendors based on them just being in the project. And then we also have commitment-based importing. So people who want to import contracts, commitments, subcontracts, all right, or purchase orders out of Procore in any state as well. A document has already been submitted for review for A1 Electric Company. And we're just going to go in and do a review for, let's say, the automobile insurance. Is that the one that you want me to push with?
Yes, please.
Perfect. So for this demonstration, we're also going to change the policy number, and we're going to call it Billy ERP demo to showcase that the information does push between Procore and between Billy into Procore and into Sage as well. So I'll confirm that the policy is active, and then I'll just complete this review. So we have pushed this automobile insurance information into Procore. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and Daniel's going to pull up his screen and show you the Procore to Sage 300 sync as well.
So now, there you go. So he updated it, so it automatically updated to Billy ERP demo here. And that also kicked off an integration, that in the time it took us to transfer all this stuff. So here's an integration for this specific project, vendor, and insurance type, and we've updated the policy number from this value to that value, and now we have a new provider as well. So, as he said, these things just update pretty much real time, and that was all nice and quick. So let's do the slow part, which is logging into Sage. Be better. Okay. Oh, and here we go. So the general liability, let's see, which one was this? General liability insurance is now Billy ERP demo as the policy number, whereas it was that other number beforehand. So there we go. And this just happened all behind the scenes while we were talking.
I know there are a lot of folks in the Massachusetts area, so we've helped DF Prey through this partnership, right? And they are saving a lot of time by essentially making Procore their source of truth for project management information. They're centralizing insurance and compliance for all their 300 trade partners in Billy, and they're growing that number weekly as well. And then the platforms are automatically syncing all the compliance information, removing friction between vendors, their brokers, into Billy, centralizing all of that compliance information into Procore, right? And then from Procore into Sage 300 as well. So this is an example of how you can document and share progress using Billy. Because you can't always go back in time, right? So you can allow your teams vet those subcontractors, integrate things into Procore and into your payment system as well. All of this gives you a peace of mind. It's not just the softwares, but it's the people as well. All of our partner success team are CRIS certified, so that means construction risk insurance specialists. You can contact them through our chat, you can phone or email. They're able to provide you with help, and they're really good at building relationships, which is one of the reasons why our Trustpilot is blowing up with customers that are very satisfied with the service that we provide.
Integration with Sage work, how handles that, I believe, who handles that, etc.
So we saw the demonstration. If you could maybe give some more clarity. At the lowest level, we use the Timberline ODBC drivers to update the subcontract record fields that have the policy expiration date and all that stuff in Sage. So that's at the lowest level. That's how we do it. But as you saw, it's a real-time integration between Procore and Sage using the webhooks built into Procore. I hope that answers the question, but I'm just not sure.
Yeah, and I could also dive into some other things Andy might be thinking about. I believe we could talk more about like, the ease of installing the agent in order to communicate compliance information, if you want to touch on that.
Oh, yes. Oh, right. Okay, yes. So cloud, I mean, Sage obviously is not a web-based or cloud-based product by any means. So we have a program called the Data Agent, and the Data Agent is installed somewhere within your networks or your host's networks on a machine that has the actual Sage client installed. And so the data agent basically sits and listens for requests, and one of the requests will be load me this commitment so that I can look at it. Another request will be update this commitment so I can update its policy. So the data agent is a small, lightweight piece of software written in Microsoft C# running on the .NET platform.
Perfect. Brittany, any other questions you see that popped up?
Those are the two that I can see. Oop, one more. Okay, this is from Andy who asked that previous question. So we contact Billy and they handle the install.
Yeah, so what's going to happen is we obviously will reach out to you. So Brittany and her team will reach out to you. There will be, I guess, like an agent that you will get, and your IT person who's responsible for the Sage 300 integration just has to install that agent, log into it, and then Daniel will help with connection with Procore. It's pretty simple to do. I would say like probably under an hour's worth of work for them to do, and then they're up and running. I can say that because I saw, Phil from DF Prey.
Oh.
He was out on vacation, when his team started using Billy. By the time he came back, I think it took him less than like an hour to install the agent. And, a week later, he was already writing to say he's pretty happy and wants to expand, the number of trades that are using Billy as well. So that's just like how simple and easy it is to use. It's to the core of our values, which is we want everything, including infrastructure, to connect with important systems like Sage 300 to be frictionless as well. And we want everything to work with your core system of record, which is Procore as well. So we're helping together to extend that functionality to your finance teams and also to your insurance and risk mitigation teams too.
See the next excellent question from Rick Qualega.
Oh.
How does the integration between Billy and Procore handle if a subcontractor has multiple commitments on a single project in Procore? Okay, so Procore does not have commitment level insurance. It has project level insurance. So what we do is we look at, for a given vendor, we look at the commitments to that vendor in Procore. We find their matches in the other system. And we make the assumption, and this is an assumption, that so for the example of Sage, every commitment in Sage for that vendor on that project should have the exact same insurance. Now, this may or may not be the case, and if it's not the case, work with us to explain what the rules are, and we'll make sure that we map them properly. But by default, just if you're to that vendor on that project, whatever the project level insurance Procore says is the insurance that you need.
Yeah, and I also want to point out in Billy, we also have one fail-safe feature, which is if you have multiple commitments on a project with the same vendor, you could also mark some of them as inactive, since you're still going to be getting the same insurance document across those 3 commitments from that vendor. So that's one additional way of marking the commitments that you don't want to track as inactive, and just remain with one that represents that vendor, in addition to the help we get from Kalence too. And if there's also, I guess, another way that you think we should handle, we're always open to feedback. So thanks so much for that question, Rick.
And in fact, for Kitchell with their JDE integrations, we do exactly that, because they do have different insurances to the same vendor on the same project, and we handle that just fine. Thanks
exactly.
to the agility of the Billy team to roll with the changing requirements.
Yes, and just for that, it's another use case we didn't highlight here. Kitchell's a really large general contractor out in the west in Arizona. They use JD Edwards, Billy, and also Procore. For them, we also built one additional, I guess, customization, which is the ability to customize requirement groups by phase type. So this is really driven through cost codes on the commitment. For them, it's more of like, a different sub job has ended. So they want to apply different insurance rules. Like, I want to enroll people into our CSIP based on a phase code, or people in a certain phase code have different insurance requirements. So this really enables the field team to see all this information on their contracts. People who are in insurance to manage it through Billy, and people who are in accounting can now manage payment compliance through JD Edwards as well. All right. And if there are more questions, feel free to ask through the chat as well. We'll see you soon. And thanks again for attending. Bye.